helpful. Less than 24 hours away from Donald Trump's highly anticipated sit-down with House Speaker Paul Ryan. Last week, the chairman of the summer's Republican convention said he was not ready to endorse the presumptive nominee. He even offered to step down from that position, but Trump doesn't want him to. He's optimistic their meeting tomorrow will help unite the Republican Party.
I would like to see unity in the party. I believe we'll have great unity in the party. He's a very good man. He wants what's good for the party, and I think we're going to have very positive results. And I'd love, frankly, for him to stay and be chairman.
Ryan addressed reporters this morning and struck a conciliatory tone.
To pretend we're unified without actually unifying, then we go into the fall at half strength. This election is too important to go into an election at half strength. That means we need a real unification of our party. I want to be a part of that unifying process so that we're at full strength this fall so that we can win this election. We cannot afford to lose this election to Hillary Clinton.
Ryan and Trump don't know each other well, but the speaker said he's looking forward to that changing tomorrow.
I don't really know him. I met him once in person in 2012. We had a very good conversation in March on the phone. We just need to get to know each other, and we, as a leadership team, are enjoying the fact that we have a chance to meet with him.
Okay, so Eric, I like that last point a lot from Paul Ryan because I found that that's true. If you've met somebody and you have a personal relationship, it's a lot easier to communicate, to understand each other. You're not communicating by Twitter or email. So if you were either one of them tomorrow, what would your goals for that meeting be?
Well, interesting. That's a very difficult question. I think that they're going to come out. I think this is going to all work out. I just have a hunch. It just feels like both of them had to put up, this is where I am. Paul Ryan had to say, I have a constituency that I'm representing. I can't sign on to Donald Trump right now, you know, with all that's going on with Mitt Romney and some of the others. So he was playing that card for a little while. I think he'll come out of the meeting saying, look, I want to get behind the GOP frontrunner. I want to get behind the guy who's going to be our nominee at the convention. Remember, this is more about the convention than it is going forward. Paul Ryan will, if Donald Trump becomes president, work with the president. Clearly, he will. But this is about the convention. Paul Ryan right now is going to chair the convention. If he can't get behind the frontrunner, the guy who we're trying to beat the other side, Hillary, can't get behind him, he shouldn't be chair of the convention. Step down. Donald Trump should say, step down, and he should. If he can't get behind him, Reince Priebus says he should step down. I would agree, step down. By the way, it shouldn't be that hard to get behind Donald Trump. Donald Trump now has 10.9 million votes, breaking the prior record George W. Bush had for the most votes ever in a primary, and there are 7 states left to go. It's time to get everyone behind the front runner.
So, Juan, we talked a little bit last night at midnight, in case you weren't watching. You better show up next Tuesday, about policy differences. But I had a question about, let's say that they can't get to an agreement on some certain policies. Perhaps one of the things they could agree on is that maybe Donald Trump says, I know that there's some members that need some fundraising help. I will commit to doing X number of fundraisers before the 1st of June or the 1st of July. And maybe he'll make a commitment like, okay, and I understand that there might be some members who think they'll lose their seat if they back me. Fine. I'll leave them alone. I won't attack them. I mean, is that something at least that could be discussed at a meeting like this?
So you were advising him? Because that's good advice, I think.
Yes, that was my goal. They don't listen to me otherwise, but I think that that's smart. I mean, okay, if you say, like, if you can't get to me on policy, is there something that you can give to me that will actually help me get behind you?
The policy is so large a hurdle because, I mean, a real big policy difference between Donald Trump and the Republican establishment. But what they have on the table is this. Donald Trump has some needs, too, Dana. He needs the party structure. Because, remember, he's just starting to get going on things like putting a staff in the battleground states. He's just getting going on fundraising. He's just getting going on identifying voters. And the RNC has computer list of where Republican voters are and who you need to reach if you want to win. So he wants all those things. But going into this, the word in Washington is that Paul Ryan will not come out and say, I endorse Donald Trump on Thursday. Instead, he'll say, I'm working on it. We're talking. We're moving in the right direction, but there is no sense that...
But don't you think that's wise, Kimberly, like that approach?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think tomorrow's actually going to go very well. We've already seen some like little telegraphing messages by way of carrier pigeon delivered. And I think what's going to happen is he's going to be able to get behind him. It's not going to be a big dramatic announcement, but there's going to be a meeting of the minds and understanding that going forward, the goal should be to defeat Hillary Clinton. It should be never Hillary, not never Trump, and make sure that she doesn't take the White House. That should be the bottom line. That's the big unifying thing, you should say. And basically, Hillary's helping, you know, Trump, because she's that unpopular of a candidate. Just look at the measure of success of Bernie Sanders against her, and it just goes to show you there's a lot of opportunity there to do some damage to her candidacy and say, well, maybe I'm not all in on, you know, 10 out of 10 things that Trump's for, but I do know that I don't want that person in the White House.
Do you know that there's the Ryan-Trump meeting has gotten all the attention. There are other meetings happening tomorrow, including with Senator Mitch McConnell, who makes a similar point about a third Obama term being what everyone needs to work against. Let's listen to Senator McConnell.
I think most of my members believe that he's won the nomination the old-fashioned way. He got more votes than anybody else. And we respect the voices of the Republican primary voters across the country. And we'll sit down and talk about the way forward. We know that Hillary Clinton will be 4 more years of Barack Obama. I think that's going to, in the end, be enough to unify Republicans across the country.
So, Tom, do you think he's right?
Well, first, that wasn't exactly a ringing endorsement there, but he should stop saying...
But Mitch McConnell does that, like, on his happiest day.
Yeah.
That's how Mitch McConnell sounds. He's
little
got
soft
one
pedal.
tone.
That's him all in.
Well, he mentioned Obama. You guys should stop saying Obama, because Obama is a lot more popular than Hillary Clinton. Say Hillary Clinton, but don't say Obama. I mean, that's number one.
Okay. Are you now giving advice?
I'm giving advice, yes. But, Juan, you mentioned that they're far apart on policy, Paul Ryan and Trump, and that's true. That's why the key word is principles. I saw Paul Ryan say it several times. He says we're going to unite the various wings of the party around common principles. And then he mentioned again principles, because he knows he's never going to see eye to eye on policy. So he's going to keep using that word principles. That shows me that Paul Ryan is ready to deal. He says principles, not policy.
I tell you what, I'll tell you where he's further away on policy with Hillary Clinton than he is with Donald Trump, Paul Ryan. And he should.
That's true.
Come on. He's the Speaker of the House.
Right.
You're down to 2 choices. You're down to Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump. You're not getting a third choice, Paul. Get behind the guy who's not Hillary Clinton. Anyone but Clinton. ABC, anyone but Clinton. You don't want 2 or 3 or 4 Supreme Court justices going far left liberal, and then it's going to make his life and everyone that's trying to get reelected's life miserable.
Someone else will step up to chair it, I'm sure. I mean, he's going to do it, let's be honest. And Trump said, I want him. I'd like him to be the chairman. But otherwise, see if Rubio's interested.
You know, you guys are willing to throw Paul Ryan over the
No, I love Paul Ryan.
I'm curious, because, in fact, what I hear is that the Freedom Caucus in Washington is putting pressure on him to get in line, get behind Donald Trump.
You should.
But I don't know about this, because I tell you what, he's looking down the road. He wants not only to keep his members in the majority in the House of Representatives, he's got to look about what this party represents going forward.
We've all been to conventions, right?
Sure.
The convention is the coming out party of your nominee. The convention is presenting your nominee to America and say, vote for our person, this guy or girl, and not the other one. And if Paul Ryan's not even on board with the Trump train, then replace him. Get someone in there who is.
Can I say something, though? I actually think that that's not traditionally what the convention was. It wasn't just about the person. It was about the policy, and that's your point. And what Paul Ryan, the Speaker, is saying is, let's try to find where we can get together on policy so we can try to unify the party. The thing that is kind of strange, though, is one of the knocks against Paul Ryan was that they don't stand on principle enough. Remember, that's the last 2 years, like banging them over the head that the House establishment Republicans don't stand on principle. Now Paul Ryan is saying he wants to stand on principle, and now he's getting screamed at from the same people. I mean, if you're Paul Ryan, Kimberly, it's sort of like you can't win. So the only thing that you can do is be true to yourself.
Yeah, I agree. And by the way, hi, Paul Ryan's mom. She watches the show. He's a very nice guy. He's likable. You want him on your side. He's somebody who has a huge future with the Republican Party. He's done a great job already as Speaker. And this is going to be, I think, an important and defining moment to see how this is handled. And hopefully he's going to show everybody that we can be civilized. People can move forward on common principles. Well, but you know what? He is the representative. He's, in many ways, the face of the party.
Been civil. I don't think Paul Ryan's ever been civil.
To get other people to be civilized, to come together, to try and find common ground, to say, listen, let's talk to you about the party. Let's talk to you about principles, about policy going forward, where we can find some measure and degree of common ground, which I think is important.
I'm agreeing with Kimberly. Paul Ryan can stand on principle after you get a GOP president. Then that's time to stand on principle, push back on the president, say, you know what, I don't agree with everything our president has to say, but you know what, he's our president. I will tell you, you will be way more miserable if Paul Ryan stands on principle, Donald Trump loses to Hillary Clinton because the Republicans are divided, and then you have to fight a Hillary Clinton president.
You give Paul Ryan no option.
No.
What you're saying is, Paul Ryan, you better get on board or I'm going to absolutely stab you, buddy.
No, replace you for the convention. That's all.
Dramatic paraphrasing
Even Trump says he doesn't want him out of the convention.
Of course he doesn't want him unless he doesn't agree with him.
But you are harder than Trump on this issue.
No, I don't. Listen, I think there are a lot of people out there before Donald Trump even came along and said, I love Paul Ryan, but I really want, I want him supporting the nominee. I want him on
one
board
last
with
point
the
to
nominee.
you. Do you think that when Paul Ryan says we can't just pretend to come together, we have to genuinely come together? This comes to what Tom was talking about, principles, right? Don't you think that matters, that it doesn't look like he's just going along to get along?
For the convention?
For anything,
No,
that he really wants to unify
Ron,
Republicans.
You hear what I said? I said once the convention's over and you have a president,
you are
on principle.
You're just punching me and punching me today. I got to tell you something. Paul Ryan is not going to get run over by you or me or anybody. Paul Ryan's a real guy, he has experience, background, has stood the test of time as a real conservative and a real Republican.
He's already said he would step down as chairman of the convention if he wasn't wanted.
This is not good for Trump or the Republican Party.
All right. I'm sorry. We will get you in the next block.